50 has just leaked shocking new footage of how scared and shaken Diddy looks in prison, and it's going absolutely viral on the internet. We had been hearing all about how Diddy was living it up in prison, drinking wine and teaching business to inmates. But now it turns out that there are a few people out to get him, and for reasons many people hadn't seen coming. It is now being reported that Diddy could be in danger of being imprisoned by Tupac's people.
This guy's life might be danger over here because people think that he has something to do with Pac. People think he has something to do with Biggie, and they right here in Brooklyn. You understand? It's right here in Brooklyn, and some of the people are still mad that he made Making of the Band walk to Brooklyn from, you know, to get the cheesecake, and just around the corner from the Cheesecake Factory. So, I mean, Junior's. So it might be some dumb shit. So y'all need to get him out of here and ship him to Jersey because somebody gonna kill him over here. Those are good arguments, if you wanna call it, but it's bullshit. He gonna get the same treatment no matter how much money he got.
For years, the deaths of Tupac Shakur and Christopher the Notorious Big Wallace have hovered over hip-hop like an open wound, and for just as long, Diddy has firmly denied having anything to do with either case.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody to Tupac? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Tupac was shot in a drive-by in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996. He fought for 6 days before dying at just 25 years old. Only 6 months later, Biggie was killed the same way in Los Angeles on March 9th, 1997. Two giants of rap were gone, back to back, during a time when the music world was split down the middle. That split was the famous East Coast-West Coast feud. It wasn't just music, it was pride, loyalty, and long-standing tension. Diddy, as Biggie's close friend, producer, and the head of Bad Boy Records, stood firmly on the East Coast side. Over time, Diddy's name kept coming up in conversations about both deaths. The Netflix docuseries Sean Combs' The Reckoning, which premiered on December 2nd, brought those conversations back into the spotlight. Several people in the series claim Diddy may have played a role. I think that Sean had a lot to do with the death of Tupac, and he ushered Biggie to his death. Bad Boy co-founder Kirk Burrows said in the documentary, the tension between Diddy and Tupac didn't come out of nowhere. Early on, they moved in similar music circles.
Wait, because this situation is getting messier by the minute. So here's what's blowing up online right now. People are claiming 50 Cent has been quietly pushing around brand new behind bars footage of Diddy, and in these clips, Diddy doesn't look untouchable. He looks tense, rattled, like somebody just whispered something in his ear that changed the whole mood. And the internet is eating it up because for months we've heard the opposite story. You know the one. Diddy supposedly living comfortable, acting like prison as a private lounge, smiling through it all. But now pages are saying the vibe flipped, fast. And it's not just the footage that has fans shocked, it's what people are attaching to it. There are whispers that certain old names are being dragged back into the conversation. Pac, Biggie, street grudges that never really died. And if you believe what's being said, some folks are acting like Diddy isn't just locked up, he's surrounded. Even crazier, sources are claiming 50 isn't just watching this unfold, he's fanning the flames, sending clips to outlets, letting rumors breathe, and basically daring somebody to respond. So the question is simple. Is this just internet chaos, or is something real about to explode behind those walls? The internet did not wake up calm that morning. Timelines were already tense, but then a short clip started circulating. No official source, no verified statement, just a grainy video that blogs claimed was recent footage from inside the facility where Diddy is currently being held. Nobody could confirm how it was obtained, and nobody credible stepped forward to authenticate it, yet that did not stop it from spreading like wildfire. Within hours, commentary pages were stitching it together with dramatic music, zooming in on his face, slowing down his movements, analyzing every blink as if it carried a hidden message. In the clip, the man people believe to be Diddy appears thinner than usual, shoulders slightly hunched, eyes scanning the room in a way that some viewers interpreted as uneasy. Now, to be clear, these are online interpretations. There is no official statement saying he is afraid, shaken, or in danger. But fans are shocked because the image being pushed for months painted a completely different picture. For a long time, rumors suggested he was adjusting just fine, keeping to himself, even mentoring other inmates. That narrative made him look composed, unbothered, almost insulated from the chaos outside. This new footage, whether authentic or not, challenges that story. What really sent people into a frenzy was the caption that accompanied the clip. Several gossip pages claimed that 50 Cent was allegedly the one who helped push this footage into circulation. Again, there is no documented proof confirming he personally leaked anything. However, online personalities insist that certain media outlets received the clip from sources close to 50. That phrase alone was enough to spark a digital storm. "He's not smiling now," one viral post read. "This is not the same energy," another account commented under the video. Fans flooded the comments with theories. Some believed the shift in appearance meant pressure was mounting behind bars. Others argued that lighting and camera angles can make anyone look tense. Emotions ran high as people chose sides, dissecting the clip frame by frame. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's social media presence added fuel without directly confirming anything. He did not post the footage himself, at least not publicly in a clear way, but he shared cryptic messages that many interpreted as subtle jabs. One post featured a laughing emoji paired with a vague caption about truth finding the light. That was enough for speculation to spiral. Inside fan communities, debates became heated. One supporter wrote, "If this is real, why now? Who benefits from this being out?" Another responded, "Maybe somebody wants him uncomfortable." And that is where the narrative took a dramatic turn. Certain commentators began connecting this alleged footage to older tensions, resurfacing long-standing rivalries and unresolved conversations. Suddenly, names from decades
Had he not been there for that, he would have went up there in the office. He would have went to the studio or the studio session with Big Nim. He would have went to that studio session with Big Nim. He knew what room Big Nim was in. He didn't do that. He was there to see what was going to happen to Pop after Jimmy told him. And that's factual.
Gene says this lines up with what Kirk Burroughs has also claimed, that Diddy played a role behind the scenes. And if money was involved, Gene believes Kirk would know where it came from.
Yeah, Kirk Burroughs, he also said that, he feels like, Diddy was behind Pac murder.
Yeah. If Diddy played a part in that stuff, like he said, Kirk know where the money came from. I'm gonna say this. They tried to, if you talk about the Vegas trip and the whole 9 yards, Kirk said that he paid for people to drive out to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? He said he paid for people to drive out of Vegas. I was heavily with Bad Boy at that time. I don't remember that part of it. You understand? I don't remember that part of it. But if Kirk knew and he was paying for people to drive out to...
Decades-old conflicts were trending again, not because of new evidence, but because the timing felt suspicious to many observers. Some online voices suggested that prison dynamics can shift quickly when high-profile inmates arrive. There is no confirmation that Diddy is facing specific threats, yet that did not stop people from constructing elaborate scenarios. One podcast host claimed, "If the streets are still holding on to old grudges, prison is not neutral territory." Again, that is commentary, not verified fact, but it intensified the emotional temperature of the discussion. Family members and close associates have not publicly validated any of these claims. However, unnamed sources quoted by entertainment blogs say those around him are frustrated by what they call selective leaks. According to these reports, they believe someone is deliberately shaping public perception. Whether that someone is 50 Cent or simply overzealous gossip pages remains unclear. Behind the scenes, fans imagine
You ain't going to cash that in the check cashing place. You signing that over to somebody. I said 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times again. Eric Von Zip showed me and my man Boondang, AKA my man Slick, a check for $1 million. We don't know, and everybody trying to say, lying, talking about half of it got paid, 500. I don't know. I know when I asked him about, we asked him, do we ask? No, we didn't ask him. I know when he showed us a check and he walked away after he showed us the check for the $1 million, you understand?
The people involved are gone now, but the money isn't. Paper trails don't die. If the truth is ever going to come out, Gene believes it's sitting right there, in records, checks, and transactions that can still be followed. Nearly 2 years later came the Las Vegas shooting that ended Tupac's life. For decades, that case also went unsolved, feeding rumors and theories throughout hip-hop. Then in September 2023, everything changed. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was arrested and charged with murder. Prosecutors said he played a key role in the killing. In July 2024, a court filing revealed something even more explosive, a previously undisclosed 2009 police interview. In it, Davis allegedly described his role in Tupac's murder and repeatedly brought up Diddy, claiming Diddy was the one who ordered the shooting. According to Davis, Diddy was furious over Tupac's constant insults. A DEA and US Department of Justice report also referenced a 2008 interview where Davis claimed Diddy said he needed to get rid of Marion Suge, Knight, and Shakur, and offered him $1 million to handle the problem.
Keefe claim
Tension building like a pressure cooker. In online spaces, people describe it as psychological warfare. One commentator dramatically stated, "You don't have to throw punches to shake someone. Sometimes you just control the narrative." That line alone went viral. The emotional stakes grew heavier when discussions shifted toward reputation. For Diddy, the image of strength has always been central to his brand. Appearing vulnerable, even through an unverified clip, challenges that carefully crafted persona. Supporters argue that judging a man based on a few seconds of footage is unfair. Critics counter that public figures live under scrutiny, and perception often outweighs proof. On the other side of this storm, 50 Cent's role is being painted in bold colors. Fans describe him as strategic.
Was an informant in 1997 who told investigators that Puffy had hired the Southside Crips to kill both Suge and Tupac, and that the Crip who was jumped at the MGM was in the group that had done the hit, and that they originally were going to do it at Suge's Vegas nightclub, but then decided to do it right away instead of waiting. This was exactly the same story that Keefe D told us a decade later. Very few people know that immediately after Tupac is shot and that white Cadillac is fleeing, one of the death row entourage, a guy named Alton McDonald, known as Buntree, chases after the Cadillac, and a second shooting takes place between the two vehicles. Alton McDonald's car is struck. In fact, within the Las Vegas files, there's a document that indicates that Alton McDonald's car had been struck by a bullet that night.
Yeah, and he even said that, like, in retrospect, that was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to Puffy. By Zip stealing the money, now Puffy isn't connected to that shit. Or else it would have been like a hire or something, you know what I'm saying?
The FBI said it was just Zip.
So the FBI told you to say
Someone who understands timing better than anyone. Whether he actually released anything or not, the belief that he could is enough to keep people watching. One fan wrote, "He doesn't even have to say it's him. The silence speaks louder." Emotions ran high as followers debated whether this was entertainment chess or something deeper. As the clip continued to circulate, more alleged details surfaced. Anonymous accounts claimed the footage was recent. Others insisted it was old and repurposed. Nobody could agree. That uncertainty only made the situation more dramatic. When facts are scarce, imagination fills the gaps. Some voices online even suggested that this could be part of a larger narrative battle. First, you control the headlines, then you control the courtroom of public opinion, one blogger said in a live stream. Again, these are interpretations, not established truths, but fans are shocked at how quickly perception can shift. In group chats and comment sections, people questioned what happens next. Does Diddy respond directly? Does 50 address the allegations about leaking? Or does the silence continue, allowing speculation to grow roots? Close observers note that neither camp has issued a detailed statement clarifying the situation. That absence of clarity has become its own headline. The family was left divided in online debates, with some calling for calm and others demanding accountability. Through it all, one thing is clear: the power of imagery remains unmatched. A short, ambiguous clip has ignited conversations stretching back years. It has reopened emotional wounds for fans who still carry loyalty tied to past rivalries. It has placed two towering figures back into a narrative filled with tension, rivalry, and unresolved questions. And as commentary channels continue to analyze every frame, every pause, every alleged source, the atmosphere feels thick with anticipation. Nobody knows whether the footage is significant or simply another chapter in an ongoing saga of public perception.
But the drama has undeniably intensified, and the online world is watching closely, waiting to see whether this storm settles quietly or grows louder by the hour. The online reaction did not slow down as the day went on. Instead, it escalated. Larger entertainment pages began reposting the clip with dramatic captions, carefully choosing freeze frames where his expression looked the most intense. Some slowed the video down to half speed, pointing out the way he shifted in his seat, the way his jaw tightened for a split second. Viewers argued over whether that tension meant anything at all. Was it fear, frustration, exhaustion, or simply a bad camera angle? No one could say for certain, yet everyone seemed convinced they had the answer. One blogger went live and said, "Look at his eyes. That's not comfort. That's somebody calculating." Within minutes, thousands of viewers were flooding the comments, agreeing, disagreeing, dissecting every word. Emotions ran high because people were not just reacting to a clip, they were reacting to what the clip symbolized. To some, it represented a crack in a carefully maintained image. To others, it felt like a coordinated attempt to humiliate a man already under scrutiny. Then came the twist that made things even louder. A few hours after the clip began trending, a rumor surfaced that certain outlets had been encouraged to amplify it. Again, there is no official proof confirming who shared what, but speculation grew that 50 Cent might have played a role in nudging the footage into bigger spaces. Fans are shocked not because of confirmed actions, but because of the history between these two figures. The rivalry, the subtle jabs, the long memory of past comments all came rushing back into public consciousness. A well-known radio personality weighed in, saying, "If someone wanted to send a message without saying a word, this is..."
You do it. That comment alone added layers of intrigue. People began debating whether this was strategy or coincidence. Some insisted that 50 is simply a master of timing, someone who knows exactly when to let rumors breathe. Others argued that blaming him without evidence is unfair and irresponsible. In the midst of this chaos, supporters of Diddy tried to shift the narrative. They pointed out that prison footage, especially when unofficial, can be misleading. Lighting, stress, environment, all of it can distort appearance. One fan wrote, "You try sitting in that situation and smiling for the camera." That comment gained traction, reminding viewers that context matters. Still, the dramatic framing continued. Some online voices began connecting the alleged shift in demeanor to the broader legal and cultural conversations already surrounding him. They speculated that pressure from multiple directions could weigh heavily on anyone. Again, these are theories shared by commentators, not confirmed realities. But in the world of viral entertainment news, perception often drives the storyline. Meanwhile, silence from both camps only fueled the fire. Neither Diddy nor 50 issued a direct statement addressing the clip or the rumors around its circulation. That absence of response became part of the spectacle. Fans analyzed that silence as carefully as they analyzed the footage itself. "If it wasn't important, nobody would care," one influencer said during a late-night stream. But the fact that we're all talking about it means something shifted. Another layer of tension emerged when discussions turned to reputation management. Image has always been currency in this industry. Strength, control, dominance, those qualities shape public identity. Appearing unsettled, even briefly, can feel like a narrative crack. Some critics suggested that the clip undermines the aura of invincibility that had surrounded him for years. Supporters pushed back, saying that vulnerability does not equal weakness. Friends of both sides have reportedly been fielding calls from media outlets asking for comments. According to entertainment insiders, many are choosing to stay quiet for now. One anonymous source allegedly close to the situation claimed, "Everyone is watching how this plays out before making a move." Again, that statement has not been independently verified, but it reflects the mode of caution hovering over the situation. As the hours turned into a full news cycle, memes began circulating. Some exaggerated his expression into cartoonish shock. Others mocked the idea that a few seconds of video could define a man's emotional state. Humor mixed with hostility, and the narrative grew more layered by the minute. Through it all, a larger question started echoing across platforms. Is this about the clip itself, or is it about the ongoing rivalry that has simmered for years? Because when fans talk about this situation, they are not just discussing prison footage. They are revisiting old interviews, old comments, old tensions that never fully disappeared. That emotional history gives the current rumor extra weight. One thing remains undeniable. Whether the footage is significant or simply misunderstood, it has reignited conversations that were already sensitive. It has placed two powerful personalities back into direct comparison, without either of them standing on the same stage. And as commentators continue to analyze, speculate, and dramatize, the public finds itself pulled into yet another chapter of a saga built on perception, rivalry, and the relentless spotlight of modern media. As the clip kept circulating, the conversation stopped being just about a few seconds of grainy footage and started turning into something much bigger.
People were no longer only asking whether Diddy looked tense, they were asking why the energy around him suddenly felt different. Blogs began stacking theories on top of each other, building a storyline that felt almost cinematic. Again, none of this has been officially confirmed, but the commentary world thrives on connecting dots, even when those dots are miles apart. One popular livestream host leaned into the drama and said, "This isn't about one video, this is about timing. Why now? Why when certain old names are trending again?" That question hit hard, because within hours of the footage going viral, discussions about long-standing rivalries resurfaced across multiple platforms. Names from the past started popping up in comment sections, almost as if the internet had been waiting for an excuse to reopen those chapters. Fans are shocked at how quickly decades-old tensions can be revived by something so small. Suddenly, threads about historic conflicts were gaining traction. People were quoting old interviews, reposting old clips, and debating whether unresolved issues from years ago could still carry emotional weight today. Again, these are online conversations, not proven facts, but the emotional
charge was undeniable. Some commentators began suggesting that high-profile inmates often face unique pressures inside. There is no verified report stating that Diddy is facing specific threats. However, speculation about prison dynamics started to trend. One panel discussion featured a former corrections officer who spoke generally about how reputation and history can shape interactions behind bars. He did not mention any specific person, yet viewers connected his words to the viral footage anyway. Perception began doing the heavy lifting. Meanwhile, alleged insiders claimed that people close to Diddy were frustrated with what they described as narrative manipulation. According to certain entertainment blogs, they believe the clip is being framed in the most dramatic light possible. No official family statement has confirmed this, but the idea alone intensified debate. The family was left divided online, with some fans defending him passionately, while others insisted that image shifts often reveal deeper truths. On the other side of the digital battlefield, supporters of 50 Cent argued that he does not need to leak anything to influence the conversation. They described him as someone who understands media cycles better than most. "He knows how to let the internet do the work," one fan tweeted. That post was shared thousands of times, reinforcing the belief that strategy might be at play, even without direct confirmation. Emotions ran high when an old clip of 50 resurfaced, in which he joked about watching situations unfold quietly. Although the clip had no direct connection to the current rumor, people stitched it into the narrative. Suddenly, what may have been coincidence started looking intentional to those already convinced. This is how digital storytelling works. Context bends, timelines blur. In a dramatic twist, a late-night podcast claimed that certain outlets were preparing follow-up pieces analyzing prison conditions in general. The implication was clear, even if not stated directly. The atmosphere felt heavy with suggestion. Again, there is no documented evidence that any specific danger exists, but the layering of commentary created a sense of suspense that kept viewers glued. One commentator said during a heated debate, "If you control the clip, you control the mood, and if you control the mood, you shape the legacy." That line echoed across social media. Fans began arguing not about facts, but about power. Who has it? Who is losing it? Who is winning the narrative war? Supporters of Diddy insisted that resilience has always been part of his identity. They reminded people of past controversies where he maintained composure publicly. Critics countered that circumstances now are different. "This time feels heavier," one user wrote. That sentiment captured the tension perfectly, not because it confirmed anything, but because it revealed how people are emotionally processing the situation. Another layer emerged when someone alleged that legal strategists often advise clients to remain silent during intense media cycles. Again, this is a general statement, not confirmation of any specific advice, but it added depth to the silence from both sides. Perhaps no response is intentional. Perhaps speaking would only amplify speculation further. Behind the spectacle, you could sense the emotional stakes rising. Reputations are fragile in the age of viral clips. A single frame can become a symbol. Fans dissected body language experts' opinions, though none had access to confirmed context. One self-proclaimed analyst said, "Shoulder tension like that indicates stress." Others mocked the idea that anyone could diagnose emotional states from a blurry video. And yet, despite the skepticism, people kept watching. Because the drama is not just about prison walls. It is about legacy, about rivalry, about decades of competitive energy that never truly dissolved. When the clip plays, viewers are not only looking at a man sitting in a room, they are projecting years of narrative onto that moment. As night fell and discussions continued, the story felt less like a rumor and more like a cultural event. Not because new facts emerged, but because attention itself gave it weight. Every repost, every reaction video, every heated argument added layers to the spectacle.
The biggest question lingering in the air was simple. If this is merely perception, why does it feel so intense? Why does a short clip carry so much emotional gravity? Perhaps it is because people sense unfinished business in the background. Perhaps it is because rivalry sells. Or perhaps it is because in an era driven by visuals, the smallest shift can spark the loudest reaction. Whatever the reason, the conversation has moved beyond curiosity. It now feels like a chessboard where every silence, every emoji, every repost is being interpreted as a move, and the audience, fully invested, is waiting to see who makes the next one. And just when it seemed like
the noise might start fading, another twist pushed the drama into overdrive. Late that evening, a well-known entertainment page posted a cryptid update claiming that more footage exists. They did not provide proof. They did not show anything new. They simply suggested that what the public had seen was only a glimpse. That single sentence reignited the fire. Fans flooded the comments demanding receipts. "Drop it or stop teasing," one user wrote. Others speculated that if additional clips were real, they might show context that changes everything. Once again, no verified source confirmed that any extended footage exists, but the idea alone was enough to keep the story alive. Meanwhile, analysts began zooming out from the video itself and focusing on the emotional chess match unfolding between reputations. Commentators framed it as psychological pressure rather than physical conflict. Sometimes the loudest fight happens without anyone raising their voice, one panelist said during a heated discussion. That line resonated because this entire saga has unfolded through implication rather than confirmation. Supporters of Diddy pointed out that staying composed under scrutiny has always been part of his public persona. They argued that even if he appeared serious in the clip, seriousness does not equal fear. People are projecting, one fan insisted. A man can look focused and suddenly it's panic? That perspective gained traction among those who believe the internet thrives on exaggeration. On the other side, critics argued that subtle shifts matter. Energy never lies, another commentator claimed dramatically. Emotions ran high as both camps defended their interpretations like attorneys in a courtroom of public opinion. Then came another dramatic moment. A rumor surfaced suggesting that individuals from Diddy's extended circle were privately reaching out to outlets to counter what they called misleading framing. Again, there is no official confirmation of coordinated outreach, but the speculation added another layer of intrigue. Was there an invisible tug-of-war happening behind the scenes, or was this simply how rumors evolve in real time? The family was left divided in online spaces. Some supporters called for empathy, reminding viewers that anyone in confinement would carry visible stress. Others doubled down, insisting that the clip exposed vulnerability that contradicts months of confident narratives. Each side believed they were protecting the truth. In the middle of this, 50's silence became louder than any statement. He continued posting unrelated content, yet every caption was dissected for hidden meaning. A simple laughing emoji sparked hundreds of think pieces. Is that shade? People asked. No direct reference was made, but interpretation filled the gap. A well-known media strategist appeared on a podcast and explained how viral cycles work. You release a spark, she said hypothetically, and then you let the audience build the fire. She did not name anyone, yet listeners connected her words to the current situation immediately. The implication was powerful even without specifics. As the night stretched on, discussion shifted toward legacy once more. People began asking whether this moment, real or exaggerated, could influence how history remembers both men. Legacy in entertainment is fragile. It is shaped not only by achievements but by perception during controversy. We are watching brand warfare, one influencer declared, and perception is the weapon. Another twist emerged when a former associate of one of the camps posted a vague message about loyalty and long memories. No names were mentioned, no accusations were made, yet fans quickly linked it to the unfolding drama. Speculation grew that old alliances might be quietly reactivating in response to the viral moment. Emotions ran high during a late-night debate show where two guests nearly talked over each other. One argued that this is pure entertainment spectacle. The other insisted that when reputations and unresolved histories intersect, nothing is accidental. The tension between those viewpoints mirrored the broader public divide. Through it all, one truth remained consistent. No official documentation has verified that 50 personally leaked anything. No confirmed report has stated that Diddy is facing a specific threat inside. And yet, the emotional weight of the narrative feels real to millions watching. That contrast between fact and feeling is what gives the story its dramatic edge. Some viewers began expressing fatigue. We are arguing over pixels, one comment read. But even those claiming exhaustion continued to follow updates, because deep down, the unresolved nature of the situation keeps pulling attention back. As dawn approached, the story felt less like a rumor and more like a live drama series unfolding in real time. Not because new evidence had surfaced, but because each interpretation built upon the last. Silence became suspense. Emojis became statements. A short clip became a symbol. And now the atmosphere feels charged with anticipation. Will someone address it directly? Will new context emerge that shifts everything once again?
Or will this moment fade into the long archive of internet storms that burned bright and then vanished? For now, the questions hang in the air, heavier than any confirmed detail. And the audience remains locked in, waiting for the next ripple that could either calm the waters or send another wave crashing across the headlines. And just when people thought the frenzy had reached its peak, a new angle entered the conversation that shifted the emotional temperature all over again. A prominent commentator suggested that this entire situation might not even be about prison at all, but about positioning. This is about leverage, he said during a late-night broadcast. When narratives move, power moves. That statement added a strategic layer to what had previously felt like pure spectacle. Again, there is no verified confirmation that anyone orchestrated anything, but the suggestion that someone could be shaping perception intentionally made the audience lean in closer. Fans are shocked at how quickly a few seconds of footage evolved into a broader discussion about influence, control, and long-term rivalry. Another entertainment page posted a side-by-side comparison. On one side, an older public appearance where Diddy appeared confident and animated. On the other, the recent clip where he looked quieter, more reserved. The caption read, "Same man, different energy?" That phrasing alone sparked thousands of comments. Some argued that circumstances change people. Others claimed that pressure reveals authenticity. Emotions ran high when a former industry insider appeared on a panel and described how public figures often become symbols during controversy. "A man in the video is human," she said, "but online he becomes an idea." That perspective resonated because it acknowledged the difference between reality and projection. Still, not everyone agreed. Critics insisted that symbolism matters in a culture built on image. In the middle of this escalating debate, whispers emerged that legal teams on both sides were monitoring the conversation carefully. There is no public filing connected to this footage, no official cease and desist order tied to the viral clip. Yet the possibility that attorneys might be quietly observing added another dramatic note. The idea of silent strategy unfolding behind closed doors made the spectacle feel even more intense. Meanwhile, supporters of 50 framed the situation as accountability culture colliding with entertainment rivalry. They argued that if footage surfaces, regardless of how it surfaces, public reaction is inevitable. "Nobody forced people to watch," one fan wrote. "The internet chose." That sentiment highlighted how collective curiosity fuels these storms. Supporters of Diddy countered with calls for caution. They emphasized that unverified clips can be misleading, especially when context is absent. "We are building castles on speculation," another user commented. That line gained traction among those who believe the frenzy has outpaced the facts. Yet the frenzy continued. Late in the evening, a rumor circulated that certain insiders believe more revelations could surface in the coming weeks. No evidence accompanied that claim, no dates were mentioned, but the mere suggestion that this might not be the end kept anticipation alive. Fans began speculating about what more could mean: extended footage, behind-the-scenes explanations, or simply more commentary layered onto the same ambiguous moment. The family was left divided in public opinion spaces once again. Some pleaded for the narrative to cool down, pointing out that real lives are involved behind every viral headline. Others insisted that public figures operate in a realm where scrutiny is unavoidable. Through all of it, neither main figure stepped forward with a direct statement addressing the alleged leak. That continued silence has become almost theatrical. Viewers analyze every post, every absence, every delayed reaction. In modern media, even stillness can feel like movement. As the dust begins to swirl rather than settle, the story stands at a crossroads. On one path, it fades into memory as another example of internet exaggeration. On the other, it becomes a catalyst for deeper confrontations, reopened rivalries, and further narrative battles. Right now, nobody can definitively say which direction it will take. What is undeniable is that a short, unverified clip has managed to shake the conversation. It has reignited debates about legacy, perception, rivalry, and the fragile line between commentary and confirmation. It has shown how quickly the public can project emotion onto silence and tension onto stillness. And perhaps that is the most dramatic twist of all. Sometimes the loudest
explosions are not built from facts alone, but from the way people interpret them. Sometimes a glance becomes a headline. Sometimes a rumor becomes a storyline. For now, the world watches, speculates, debates, and refreshes timelines, waiting. Because in a saga shaped by rivalry and perception, the next move does not have to be loud to change everything. So here we are, a short clip, a wave of speculation, and a rivalry that refuses to fade quietly into the background. No official confirmation that 50 leaked anything. No verified proof that Diddy is facing danger behind bars. And yet,
the internet feels like it is standing in the middle of a storm. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided in the court of public opinion. Is this strategic timing? Is this just the internet doing what it does best, turning seconds into sagas? Or is there something bigger brewing beneath the surface that we have not fully seen yet? One thing is clear: perception is powerful, silence is powerful, and in a world where a single frame can shift the narrative, every move matters. Whether this turns out to be nothing more than viral chaos or the beginning of a deeper confrontation, the tension is real, and the spotlight is not going anywhere. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think this footage means anything at all, or is it just another overblown moment amplified by social media? Do you believe someone is intentionally shaping the narrative, or is this pure coincidence? Drop your thoughts in the comments because your perspective drives this conversation. Make sure you like this video if you want more deep dives into the drama behind the headlines, and subscribe so you don't miss the next twist in this unfolding story. Turn on your notifications, because if anything else surfaces, you'll want to be the first to know. This saga is far from quiet, and trust us, we are watching every move.